I never thought sitting down would make me cry. Not from some emotional breakdown. From straight up physical pain. It started sneaky, you know? A little ache in my lower back here. Some neck tension there. Classic I sit at a computer all day stuff. But then it became my shadow. Everywhere I went, there it was. Doctors handed me pills like candy. Physical therapists gave me stretches that made me feel like a broken pretzel. But here's the kicker. Nobody asked the question that flipped my entire world upside down. What if your pain is trying to tell you something? That one question sent me down the weirdest, most life-changing rabbit hole of my life. Pain and I. We were old roommates. I'd gotten so used to it that I basically gave it a permanent lease in my body. Oh, that's just stress, I'd tell people. I'm not 20 anymore. What do you expect? But here's what I didn't realize. I was having a full-blown conversation with my body every single day. And I was completely ignoring what it was saying. My pain wasn't random. It was a signal. A desperate SOS from a body that had been whispering for years before it started screaming. So I did something crazy. I stopped trying to shut it up and started listening. I began with food, but not in the way you'd think. No crash diets or elimination torture chambers. Just kindness. Real food. Anti-inflammatory superstars like turmeric and ginger became my daily ritual, instead of my daily Advil. I kicked processed sugar to the curb and brought in raw honey like I was welcoming home an old friend. Every meal became this weird little ceremony, like I was writing love letters to my cells. Hey, I'm finally paying attention. Within a week, those sharp little knife jabs in my joints started backing down. But something else started bubbling up, and it caught me completely off guard. Memories. Old ones. The kind you stuff down so deep you forget they exist. Turns out, my body wasn't just hoarding physical pain. It was like a storage unit for emotional baggage I'd been paying rent on for years. Grief I never processed. Guilt I couldn't shake. Anger I'd buried so deep it had fossilized. I started doing this thing called somatic breathwork. Basically deep breathing designed to unlock trauma that gets stuck in your tissues. Sounds woo-woo, I know. But one night, mid-session, I screamed into a pillow like I was 5 years old, having the world's biggest meltdown. When I was done, my shoulders felt like someone had just removed invisible 100-pound weights. But the deeper I went, the more I realized I'd been living in a pain museum, collecting exhibits I didn't even want. I learned about fascia. This connective tissue that's basically your body's bubble wrap. Except when it gets tight, it holds on to everything. Pain, trauma, that argument you had in 2019. So I started dry brushing and using warm castor oil packs, feeling like some kind of ancient priestess performing sacred rituals in my bathroom. But the real game changer, that came out of nowhere. It was called pain sitting. And it sounded absolutely ridiculous. This holistic practitioner told me to literally sit with my pain. Place my hand on it. Ask it what it needed. Like I was having a heart-to-heart with my lower back. I'm not going to lie. I thought she'd lost her mind. But one night, when that familiar throbbing came back with a vengeance, I figured I had nothing to lose. So I sat there, hand on my back, feeling like I was talking to myself. Okay, pain. What do you want? The answer that came back hit me like a truck. Rest. Real rest. Not Netflix and scroll rest. Actual deep, restorative rest. So I did something revolutionary. I stopped. Just stopped. Stopped pushing through. Stopped pretending I was a machine that could run on empty forever. I started honoring my body's pace instead of forcing it to keep up with my brain's endless to-do list. And here's the crazy part. The pain started fading. Not overnight, because real healing doesn't work like that. But gradually, with every act of kindness toward myself, with every nourishing meal, with every conscious breath, I started reclaiming my body from pain's hostile takeover. I created this nighttime ritual that became my favourite part of the day. Magnesium foot soaks that made me feel like I was floating. Gentle stretching that felt more like self-massage. And journaling about even the tiniest moments of relief. Now I move through life with this softness I never knew I was allowed to have. My pain still shows up sometimes. We're not completely done with each other. But now, when it arrives, I greet it like that friend who always has drama, but somehow still gives the best advice. If you're watching this and you're exhausted from fighting your own body, try asking it what it needs. Not just once, but like it's your new best friend you check in with daily. Because here's what nobody tells you. Pain isn't your enemy trying to ruin your life. It's your body's last-ditch effort to bring you home to yourself. So, are you ready to have that conversation?